What if everything you've been told about zombies is wrong? Most people believe zombies were created by Hollywood, mindless monsters hungry for human flesh. But what if the idea of the undead is far older than any movie? Thousands of years before the first horror film was ever made, ancient civilizations across the world told chilling stories of the dead returning to walk among the living. From forgotten temples buried beneath the sands of Mesopotamia, to cursed tombs in ancient Egypt, from restless spirits in Greece, to terrifying creatures hidden deep within the legends of China and the frozen lands of the Vikings. Why did cultures separated by thousands of miles, and thousands of years, share the same terrifying belief? Was it only myth? A warning? Or did our ancestors witness something they could never explain? Tonight, we're traveling back through history to uncover the world's oldest legends of the undead, and discover how these forgotten stories became the foundation of one of humanity's greatest nightmares. To uncover the world's oldest legends of the undead, we have to travel back more than 5,000 years, to the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This was Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization. It was here that humans built the first great cities, invented writing, and recorded some of history's earliest myths. But among these remarkable achievements was something far more unsettling. A terrifying belief that the dead could return. The ancient Sumerians believed that when a person died, their spirit became an Etemmu, a ghost that journeyed to the underworld, a dark and joyless realm known as Kor. According to their beliefs, the dead were not supposed to return. But sometimes, they did. If someone was denied a proper burial, if funeral rituals were ignored, or if the deceased was forgotten by their family, the spirit could become restless. Instead of finding peace in the underworld, it was believed to wander back into the world of the living. These restless spirits were feared throughout Mesopotamia. People believed an angry Etemmu could bring sickness, nightmares, terrible misfortune, or even death to those it haunted. To protect themselves, families performed sacred funeral rituals, offered food and water to their ancestors, and carefully honored the dead, believing these acts would keep the spirits at peace. These stories weren't written as entertainment. They reflected the fears of an entire civilization, people trying to understand death, grief, and the mysteries that lay beyond life itself. Thousands of years before the word zombie ever existed, the people of Mesopotamia were already asking a chilling question. What happens when the dead refuse to stay dead? And this was only the beginning. As civilizations rose across the ancient world, the legends of the returning dead became even more mysterious. While the people of Mesopotamia feared restless spirits wandering back from the underworld, the ancient Egyptians viewed death in a very different way. To them, death was not the end of life. It was the beginning of an eternal journey. The Egyptians believed that every person possessed a spiritual essence that could continue to exist after death. But for that journey to succeed, the body had to remain preserved. That belief gave birth to one of history's most remarkable practices: mummification. For nearly 70 days, priests carefully prepared the body using sacred rituals, oils, linen wrappings, and natron salt to prevent decay. Every step was performed with extraordinary precision because they believed a damaged body could prevent the soul from recognizing its earthly home. The dead were then placed inside elaborately decorated sarcophagi, surrounded by food, jewelry, weapons, clothing, and precious possessions, everything they might need in the next world. Their tombs were covered with powerful prayers and magical inscriptions from what we now call the Book of the Dead, a collection of sacred spells believed to guide and protect the deceased on their journey through the afterlife. Yet despite all these preparations, the Egyptians also feared what could happen if these sacred rituals were disturbed. A tomb left unprotected, a burial ceremony performed incorrectly, or a resting place violated by grave robbers could disrupt the eternal peace of the dead. Although ancient Egyptian texts do not describe flesh-eating zombies like those of modern fiction, they do contain stories of restless spirits and the consequences of disturbing the dead. Perhaps this is why Egyptian tombs have fascinated humanity for thousands of years. Not because people believed mummies would rise to hunt the living, but because they believed that death itself was sacred, and disturbing it could awaken forces beyond human understanding. As the civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt faded into history, another great civilization emerged across the Mediterranean: ancient Greece. The Greeks gave the world philosophy, democracy, and some of history's greatest myths. But hidden among their legends was another chilling belief: that the dead could sometimes find their way back. The Greeks believed that after death, a soul traveled to the realm of Hades, crossing the legendary river Styx with the help of the mysterious ferryman, Charon. But reaching the underworld was not guaranteed. To ensure the dead could make the journey, families followed strict burial traditions. Coins were often placed with the deceased as payment for Charon's passage, while prayers and funeral rites honored the soul's final journey. If these rituals were ignored, if a body was left unburied, or if someone died violently with unfinished business, the soul was believed to remain trapped between the worlds of the living and the dead. These wandering spirits were feared throughout ancient Greece. Some legends described them as restless ghosts, while others spoke of revenants, the dead returning to their graves, or even appearing among the living, driven by anger, revenge, or an unfulfilled destiny. For the Greeks, these stories were not simply tales meant to frighten children. They reflected a deep belief that death demanded respect, and that disturbing the natural order could have terrifying consequences. This fear became so powerful that sacred places known as oracles of the dead, such as the necromantian, were believed to allow the living to communicate with departed souls through carefully performed rituals. To the ancient Greeks, the boundary between life and death was not an unbreakable wall, it was a fragile line, one that, under the wrong circumstances, could be crossed. But while Greece feared wandering souls, thousands of miles away another civilization imagined something even more unsettling. Not ghosts. While the ancient Greeks feared wandering spirits, ancient China imagined something even more unsettling. Not just a ghost, but a body that could move again. For centuries, Chinese folklore has told stories of the Jiangshi, often translated as the hopping corpse. Unlike the zombies of modern movies, a Jiangshi was not driven by hunger for human flesh. Instead, it was believed to be a lifeless body reanimated by supernatural forces. According to ancient legends, this could happen when a person died far from home, when powerful spiritual energy disturbed a corpse, or when sacred burial rituals were ignored. People believed that an unsettled spirit could become trapped inside its own body, transforming the dead into something that no longer belonged to either the world of the living or the world of the dead. The Jiangshi was said to move with stiff, rigid limbs, its arms stretched forward as it wandered silently through the darkness. Its pale face, its lifeless eyes, and its unnatural movements made it one of the most feared creatures in Chinese folklore. Ancient Taoist priests were believed to protect villages from these supernatural beings using sacred talismans, ritual bells, prayers, and ancient spiritual ceremonies. Whether these stories were warnings, religious beliefs, or simply legends passed from one generation to the next, no one can say for certain. But one thing is clear: across Mesopotamia, across Egypt, across Greece, and across China, civilizations separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, all believed that the boundary between life and death was far more fragile than it seemed. Perhaps these stories survived for one simple reason: because no matter where we come from, humanity has always feared the same mystery. What happens after death? And what if something comes back? If you enjoyed uncovering the forgotten origins of the undead, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more,